Well, you know, I think God and Moses both just have enormous respect for each other.
White gladiator has that same right spirit.
Look, the judges are proud. Even the Egyptian judge is impressed.
Until recently, you claimed that the earth revolved around the sun.
Hello and welcome to History Bites. I'm Rick Green. People are always after a quick buck, and they always have been. 500 years before blue chips and e-commerce, the shrewd investor placed his bets on gold, South American gold. Assemble a good team, a few ships, the right equipment, and you could get very rich very quick. These entrepreneurs were known as conquistadors, that's Spanish for conquerors. They sailed from Spain to make a killing in South America, literally. These guys were a tough breed of speculator, and business was cutthroat. Rather than take gold from a mine shaft or a mountain stream, the conquistadors took it from other people. First Aztecs, then Incans. This may sound like stealing, but to a conquistador, it was just a question of cutting up the middleman. And it was legal. They were acting on behalf of the Spanish crown and the Catholic Church. So let's go back to the year 1524, where a brave ship's crew is heading off to adventures in a new world. It's a story that's stranger than fiction, perhaps even science fiction.
West, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the sea ship Golden Prize, whose 12-year mission to explore strange new countries, to seek out new races, new civilizations, then kill them all and steal their gold. Captain's log, sea date June 14, 1527. Captain Francisco Pizarro reporting. During a routine exploration of the South American sector, we have arrived at the Bay of Tumbres. This region is inhabited by a simple, hospitable people who possess vast mineral wealth.
Gold, Captain. This entire area might prove to be a rich resource for the Spanish Federation.
These Indians seem so friendly and happy. Just look at those villagers having a little do.
An Inca dinky do.
Perhaps we shouldn't disturb their peaceful way of life.
Captain Pizarro, have you forgotten the Prime Directive? As members of the Spanish Federation of Conquistadors, we are bound by the Mandatory Interference Code. Section 4, Paragraph 3. You shall take their gold and territory, then force your beliefs and religion upon them on pain of death.
Sounds logical. Mr. Gonzalez.
Aye, Captain.
Stand by to eradicate the natives.
Captain, we have a wee problem.
What is it, Gonzi?
It's the gold reserves, Captain. What with the storms and the long voyage?
Spit it out, Gonzi. Can we conquer these Incans or can't we?
Captain, with no gold and food supplies running low, we couldn't conquer a wee kiddie's trios.
Gonzi, beam us up.
Aye, Captain. Activate the transporter beam.
Captain, I'm picking up a message.
What is it, Mr. De Soto?
It's from the governor of Panama, Captain. He says they cannot spare the resources to conquer every bay and inlet we discover. You're ordered to return to base at once.
That arrogant fool! If we don't help these Incans get rid of their gold, it could fall into enemy hands.
Indeed, Captain. Logic dictates it is only a matter of time before the British or Dutch send warships to this region.
Well, I don't know what you're gonna do about it, Frank. The governor represents the King and Queen of Spain. His word is final.
Captain, supplies have dropped to critical levels.
Can we switch to auxiliary food supplies, Gonzi?
Aye, Captain. We still have our leather boots. We could start eating at the bottom and work our way to the top.
Ah, to the top. I think it's time I met with the King and Queen of Spain.
Now you can have a Madonna for your very own thanks to the great Madonna and Child sale at the Starving Artists Art Warehouse sale. It's a Madonna and Child blowout. Old masters, new masters, hundreds to choose from.
Now, if you are traveling through Incan lands, remember they don't have cows. They do have llamas, so you may want to experiment with some local meats in your Incan stew. If you're not sure what to try as your guinea pig, why not go with what the Incas use? A guinea pig.
Captain's log, sea date July 26, 1529. Having been refused financing by Panama's Governor de los Rios, I've had to sail back home to Spain to seek new backing from King Charles and Queen Isabella.
Leave us! You are the one they call Captain Pizarro?
Pizarro. But your husband, King Charles, he's not here?
He is away, at battle. He battles often. It is his way. You will deal with me. What is your business?
I come seeking your support. There are vast lands which we can conquer in your name.
I have all the lands I need. Germany, Austria, Italy.
But those are merely countries. I offer you a new world.
Where is this new world?
Out there, beyond the ocean. This new world offers many precious things. My ship and my crew have the technology to help you get gold and jewels.
Ha! I have all the gold and jewels I need.
But this new world offers even more. This tree gum called chicle.
Chiku.
Yes, natives find this chewing gum quite a delicacy. I would think a woman of your exquisite taste might find the experience quite stimulating.
Really, Captain? I have no need for such.
I'll pick Joan to block.
Okay, Joan, I hear you got a new play coming out.
Yes, it's this fabulous story of a Jewish woman who decides to give Christianity a try. And after a while, she says, ugh, and she goes back to Judaism. It's called Converso Reverso.
Now, if you were accused of being a heretic, what's the first thing an inquisitor might give you the opportunity to do?
Bend over. No, I kid. I would say, leave the country.
I'll agree.
No, I'm sorry. The correct answer is to confess, wearing a coarse woolen robe called a San Benito and a foolish conical hat.
I'd rather leave the country than be seen in something like that. It's just, can we confess?
Do you like my new nightgown?
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you take it off so I can get a better look at it?
Ray?
Hey, what's the matter? Can't a guy look at his own wife there? Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. This feels nice. Yeah, hey, it is nice. What is this, silk?
Mm-hmm.
Silk? But Deborah, it must have cost a fortune. We can't afford anything that says made in China on it.
I wanted it, so I borrowed some money. From Mr. Esteban.
What? Mr. Esteban? He's not Jewish.
Ray, the Fifth Lateran Council changed its rules on usury. Now anyone can lend money, not just Jews.
Oh, geez, Deborah, I don't know. I'm not real comfortable borrowing money from someone who isn't, Jewish.
That is so racist, Ray.
What? I'm not racist. I love Jews. I just think that, they've been doing the whole money lending thing for the past 500 years, and they're good at it.
They had to be. They weren't allowed to own land or join guilds or make money any other way.
Exactly. And hey, would you go to a doctor who wasn't Italian? No. You know why? Because they haven't got the training, that's why.
I don't think that a person's race should determine what kind of job they do, and I think the church agrees with me.
All right. You go ahead. You go to your Catholic money lender. Yeah. What's next? A Jewish doctor?
This is great, Frank. Queen Isabella financed the entire thing? We've got arquebuses, horses, and 250 men?
Even a clerical team to help you convert the Indians.
In addition to our share of the gold, we've been granted permission to rule this new territory. Captain, how did you negotiate such a favorable agreement?
Let's just say I pushed for whatever I could get. Come on, gentlemen, we've got a civilization to wipe out.
When we return, live long and prosper, unless you're a Native American. By the 1500s, when Pizarro and his fellow conquistadors arrived off the shores of Peru, the Incas were certainly top dogs of the Andes Mountains. They also had the top gods. That's because when the Incas defeated another tribe, they also destroyed the tribe's gods and temples and then forced them to adopt the one true Incan faith. But you know what they say, what goes around comes around.
Any luck? Crosses?
It's difficult to say, Frank. The entire Incan belief system is so alien. But near as I can tell, they believe in the sun as God.
The Son of God. But we can't attack fellow Christians.
No, the sun in the sky as God. They're pagans, Frank. We can do as we please.
Good work, Father.
It gets better. They have other practices. The Lord Inca has seers who predict weather and battle strategies by examining the entrails of llamas.
Captain, if the Incas possess intestinal technology, they may not be as backward as we had assumed. Perhaps this civilization warrants further study.
Mr. Omega, I've got to think of my ship and filling it with gold. We've got to find out what makes this culture tick and how to stop it from ticking.
Madonna and Child not sold separately. And we've also got manger scenes, and more manger scenes. Each figure church approved. You get married.
In the mountains of these Indian lands to the south, you'll find plenty of llama dung to help grow your crops. In the coastal areas, guano makes a wonderful fertilizer. But what about that area in between? I like to use a combination of the two, which I call gung. This beige-colored crop helper is terrific. All you need is a gung ho.
They may not charge a bite, but these Peruvian pack animals can spit chewed up grass like you wouldn't believe. Uh-oh. This one spotted me in its territory, and it doesn't look too happy that I'm here. Crikey. That cantankerous cud chewer was fully loaded. It's no wonder the Incas love to sacrifice llamas to their Inca god Inti. I'm all right.
A few hundred Spaniards against 50,000 Incans? Frank, it's hopeless. You can't go down there.
Indeed. I would calculate the likelihood of victory to be approximately 2,147.3 to 1.
Captain, I'm picking up a power source from beyond the Andes Mountains. Some kind of controlling force.
This may be the Lord Inca we have heard about.
That's it.
Captain?
Mr. Almagro, tell me, what do you know about Hernan Cortez?
A Spanish conquistador, born 1485. His victory over the Aztecs is mandatory reading at the Academy. Ah, yes, I see.
Well, I don't see. What is it, Mr. Almagro?
Simple, Father. By kidnapping their leader and ruling through him, Cortez was able to defeat a city of 1 million Aztecs. Captain Pizarro believes it might work here as well.
It's brilliant, Frank. But what if Cortez is too busy to come down here?
Come on, gentlemen, let's cross those mountains. Gonzi, set arquebuses on kill. Maximum dispersal.
Not that Pizarro could have known this, but he really picked the perfect time to try and wipe out the Incas. That's because the Incas were already busy wiping themselves out in a civil war. It was a civil war that was part family squabble. When Lord Inca Huayna Capac died, he left behind 2 sons, and each of them made a claim for the throne. While Atahualpa ultimately defeated Huáscar, the fighting really weakened his army. This family feud would lead to jeopardy.
Mr. De Soto, did you get a message through to Atahualpa?
Yes, sir. I told him that we wish to meet him to establish a long-lasting friendship with the Incas.
You didn't mention anything to them about us wanting to ambush and kill them?
No, sir. I was very careful about that.
Good work, Mr. De Soto. Now,
are producing better and stronger alloys of metal. That means that guns can be smaller. It's like your own personal cannon. These new handheld weapons, pistols, carbines, and arquebuses are sweeping the battlefield, literally. So these days a smart shopper can pick up swords and armor for a song. The end of knights in armor can be the beginning of a very impressive bread knife.
Captain's log, sea date November 15th, 1532. Having passed through the Andes Mountains, we have arrived in the Incan city of Cajamarca. Here we wait for word from the Lord Inca the Lord Inca.
Make sure no one charges until I give the signal. I'm going to try and reason with them first, so hopefully we can avoid any bloodshed.
I am Captain Francisco T. Pizarro of the Spanish Federation of Conquistadors. We offer you our friendship and ask only for your gold.
I am Atahualpa. We do not need your friendship. I am a god. I am perfect.
No, you are a man. You are imperfect. And you hurt your people.
I help my people. My laws require stores of food be kept for times of famine.
But you hurt them by preventing the poor from dying off of starvation. You also require others to cultivate the land of the elderly and handicapped.
The strong aid the weak. The Lord Inca loves all his people.
Why did you imprison your brother Huascar and murder every member of his family?
Huascar was a false god. False gods must be destroyed. It is the law.
If Huascar was not a god, then he must have been just an ordinary person. One of your people.
It was necessary to punish him. He earned my anger.
But you said you love all your people.
The Lord Inca loves all his people.
No! You hated Huascar. That means you are mistaken.
I must analyze.
If you are mistaken, you cannot be a god. Therefore, you are a false god.
Error.
False gods must be destroyed. Obey your laws.
Error. Error. Error.
Now,
Error.
El Negro, now!
Security, take him away.
Coming up, the conquistadors do some conquisting. While the conquistadors' victory over the Incan Empire is remarkable, they had a few things in their favor. First, the invading Spaniards had deadly weapons that the Incas had never even seen before. And second, Pizarro and his men got the help of neighboring tribes who'd been conquered by the Incas. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But the conquistadors' greatest ally was their smallest one, a stealth weapon of mass destruction.
Captain's log, sea date August 27th, 1533. With Atahualpa securely imprisoned, the Incan soldiers have put up little resistance to our attacks, and their resistance to the smallpox that is spreading through their ranks is even less.
This outbreak of smallpox is like a gift from God. Oh, Frank, I've had a chance to examine Atahualpa. These reports of him having a golden stool, I checked twice, Frank. No gold. I think they must be referring to the chair he sits on.
That's too bad. He could have been very valuable. Ah, Mr. Almagro, your status report on the Lord Inca.
He has been cooperating fully with our request, Captain, and he has established close friendships with both your brother Hernando as well as Mr. De Soto. In addition, he recently offered the Federation a room completely full of gold in exchange for his freedom.
Recommendations?
Accept his bribe and execute him anyway.
Impeccable logic, as always, Mr. Almagro.
Thank you, Captain.
Kanzi, how's the melting process coming along?
Well, it's coming along, sir, but melting the gold into ingots with this tiny furnace, it takes time.
We don't have time, Kanzi. King Charles needs his gold now.
I cannot burn the furnace any hotter, Captain. If I do, she'll blow like a dragon on a bean diet.
You've got 2 hours.
Aye, sir.
Yes, Mr. Tesoro.
Sir, the reports of the temple in Cusco are true. It's completely full of gold. And the Incas keep several of their most beautiful virgin girls to serve there.
Lay in a course for the temple.
Fill your custom order. We can include members of your family in your scene. Commission us today. We use only the most expensive paints, including blue.
Public health officials say with only a few hundred deaths reported this year, the latest outbreak of plague, which began 2 years ago, appears to be over.
You know, I've been all over the world and I've seen much beauty, but you are more lovely than all of those others put together. For the first time in my life, I feel truly happy.
Well, the forced conversions are continuing. Atahualpa is executed, and the gold just keeps rolling in.
All's well that ends well. Eh, Father?
There's just one thing I don't understand, Mr. Almagro. When you originally put Atahualpa on trial, you sentenced him to be burned alive. Later, you had him garroted, a quicker and less painful death. Why the compassion?
Compassion? I think not, Father. Garroting is a more expedient and less costly form of execution. Logic dictated he die that way.
I don't know, Mr. Almagro. We might just make a decent human being out of you yet.
After the death of Atahualpa, Pizarro and his conquistadors quickly gained control of Peru. Unfortunately, they then succumbed to a powerful force, their own greed. Almagro and Pizarro had all of Peru to divvy up, but they couldn't agree on who should get what. Pizarro's brothers captured Almagro, and after a trial as bogus as the one that Atahualpa had received, they executed him. Almagro's supporters then assassinated Pizarro. In defeating the Incas and capturing their treasure, the conquistadors had made history. But the very desire for wealth which had pushed them to that victory eventually betrayed them, making them history in another way. And history, like an angry llama, bites.